Hey everybody, it's Cassandra and Paula. It's a sunny day here in the Illinois area, at least where we live, close to where we live, so that was nice. We are going to talk about what we have control over and what we don't for our All
Yeah,
In for 2025 conversation today. So, do you want to kick us off, Paula?
sure. I think this is one of those things where we can get very caught up in being upset. We can get caught up in our feelings. We can get caught up in all the things. And one of the things that I think is so important is just recognizing what you can control. I know for some people that's one of those, oh, it sounds, ooh, like you can just do this. And the reality is you can. There are a lot of things that we just don't have control over. And I think so often, if we just stop ourselves and just really recognize um, it's our behavior, it's our reaction, and that's all we have control over. We do not have control over changing anybody. We don't have control over other people's situations. We can influence. So let me be clear, we can influence and we can impact people, but we cannot change them. And if we spend more time focused on what we can control, honestly, I think we all would be far happier. I have found, honestly, in the last couple of months in particular, especially trying to be all in, I do not have control over other people. I just don't. And so, what I have learned, and I think a few episodes ago, we talked about feeling our feelings, right? Feel what you feel. It's okay to have a reaction to something and recognizing that that situation didn't go the way you wanted. What I want us to do is focus on our control. You all so often, I think we spend so much time worrying about other people, worrying about other things, worrying about what did or didn't happen, what is or isn't going to happen. And the reality is just focus on what you and you alone can control, whether it is your reaction, whether it is your behavior, whether it is whether you show up or not. But that's literally all we can do. What can we control? You focus on that. I just think so much more in our lives would be better, honestly, and we'd be much happier. So that's what I'm starting off with. Focus on what you can control because we just cannot change other people.
That resonates a lot, I think, for me, and also I'm sure it does for a lot of people who tune in on our little show here. Um, with my two words being peace and consistency, I think of that in the peace lens, for me, because as a creative person, and I believe everyone has their own level of creativity in their lives and are artists in their own way, right? So, but as a creative person, sometimes we can get bogged down by the shoulds, like I should be doing this way, or this is the best practice for this, or this is how I should be doing social media, or this is how I should be launching my programs, or whatever it happens to be, right? And I'm, a speaker and an MC and a coach and all the things, and there's a part of me that is, this is Cassandra. You say unapologetically Paula all the time. I'm like, this is me. And what I have sort of had started to think about today was how I lost control of my own creative voice, thinking in terms of, am I actually listening to that voice, or am I,
Mhm.
listening to everything around me
Yeah,
to inform that voice?
yeah,
And my mission going forward in my All In 2025 is to really listen to my own creative voice again and trust it, because it has done wonderful things in my life in the past. And I've built wonderful things in my life in the past. And somewhere along the line, my creative voice started to feel smaller. So, thinking about when we talk about what we have control over, the first thing you have control over is like getting really clear on what's your voice and how do you want to put it out in the
yep,
world, as
yep,
opposed to I'm listening to everyone else telling me what my voice is, or telling me how I'm supposed to do it, or telling me, how I'm supposed to show up. Focus on your own voice, because it is unique and authentic and you have your own
yep,
thing to say.
Mhm.
It's cliche, but be yourself, everyone else is taken, right? So that's been where I've been, and I've been really trying to encourage myself as well as the people that I'm working with to stay in that sense of, you inherently know
Yeah.
what you need, who you are, what you want to bring to the world. And sometimes the noise can really get in the way, but you have control over that. We really do actually have control over how we do that.
Yeah. I think sometimes what happens is, depending upon the environment, the room you're in, how people react to you, I get for some people, they feel silenced. And so, there's a reason why I call myself unapologetically Paula. It is my voice, and I will never apologize for who I am. And it doesn't mean that I'm always right. It doesn't mean that I always make the right decisions. It doesn't mean any of that. What it does mean is I will not shrink away from using my voice. And so often what I've recognized, and this is one of the great things about, doing what we want to do and um, going after the things we want to do. Even the group coaching program that I'm going to launch here very shortly is focusing on your voice and recognizing that we all have something to say. And it doesn't mean that maybe in the room that you're in, that the voice that you need to project is the right one at the moment. But what I always am surprised at is the amount of us who don't have the confidence to speak up, don't have the thought that if I say something, it will matter. We have to make sure that, again, we can't change other people, but what we can do is show up as ourselves. You said it right. Show up as our authentic selves, show up as our unapologetically selves, because somebody needs to hear what we have to say. And I think too often what we end up doing is we apologize for showing up. One of the things that I have found, we apologize specifically as women a lot. Oh, we apologize a lot. And I want us to stop that. And I want us to instead use your voice. Say what you got to say. And even in the room or the place or the environment where it may feel awkward, your voice matters. And don't let other people silence you. I have seen this happen over the last couple of weeks in a couple of different environments, and it has appalled me at how easy it is for people to be silenced and for people to not stand up for other people in the room. And so, what I want us to do is just make sure that we understand we can't change other people. What we can do is use our voices in whatever, again, form, environment, room we are in. Make sure that that voice that is yours is used, and whatever comes with that. So I always say the good, the bad, the indifferent, whatever it is, the reaction to that, just know that you only control who you are. And so using that voice to me is just very powerful. And I want us to do that consistently and always remind yourself of that. I have somebody who I was coaching last year, and she always reminds me, and it's hilarious. Paula, I always have you in my voice, in my head rather. And I say, really? She said, yes. And it was just some things that I had said to her. And I'm constantly reminded that we do have influence and impact with people. But what makes me happy about that is in the rooms that she's in now, um, there is no apologizing, there is no being quiet. It is showing up, it's using her voice. And people are starting to recognize that. There's power in that, you all, real power. And when you understand that that is the only thing you can control, the only thing, there is power, almost a release, because now it's about how I show up and it's not about somebody else.
Yeah, and I think that, I've spent most of my career helping people empower their voice, That's pretty much what I've
Yeah.
been, that's what I've been
Yeah.
about, and just standing in that and standing in their physicality and standing in their confidence and being able to step up, whether it's on a stage or in a room. And I had that same kind of training. I had, somebody helping me do that. So it doesn't mean you have to do it alone always. A lot of times it helps to have people pumping you up and realize that what you have to say matters, to Paula's point. What you have to say is important. And You don't have to ask permission. Whatever room you want to step in, you have an absolute right to be in that room, to say what you need to say, to not apologize for yourself, and feel like you can. And I think I'm getting real, I love what you said, Paul. I'm getting real passionate right now because I see it too. I see it all the time. I see these amazing, strong, beautiful, talented, intelligent women beating themselves up, making themselves small, feeling less than. And yet these are these same women who are out doing like amazing things and beautiful things and being of service and creating amazing communities. And yet behind the scenes, we're all beating ourselves up on some level. We have control of that. We have control over saying, how am I going to pump myself up? How am I going to get myself going? What am I going to do the moment before I walk in that room so that I know that I have a right to be there?
Yeah.
And to
Yeah.
Paula's point also, there's help out there. She helps leaders find their voice. I help all kinds of people find their voice, empower that, build up the strength in it so that you can do what you need to do. And we do have control over that. We do have control over our growth. And I believe everything can be practiced. And I think confidence in your voice, in yourself, is something that you can practice and you actually do get better at. So as we go forward in our week, I hope that you all will really think about what it is, what can I control today? What can I do? How can I say what I need to say that's going to be very authentic, very me, and not apologize for yourself anymore? Don't do it. You don't have to. You don't have to. You have a right to be there.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'll just leave with, yeah, let's all be unapologetic. Whatever room you're in, I want you to, if you gotta pump yourself up, right? Because I just said that if you gotta do it, then I want you to pump yourself up and say, I am unapologetic, free, whatever your name is, and own it. The key in this is owning it. I think so often that's the part that we miss. So everybody, let's go. Let's be unapologetically, whatever your name is. We can do this. Don't apologize. Show up. Use your voice because it's the only thing you can control.
Have a great day, everybody. All in for 2020, 2025. I can say it. Okay. Bye.
Love it. Bye, you all.